Yo, yo, what up? It's your girl Joy, the Hip Hop Power Font, and welcome to the Lighthouse. This is episode 004, okay? I don't know if you want to wait, you want to go get a friend, you want to send it to a friend right now so y'all can chop it up in the comments, but honey, the pod is gonna pod on today. Okay, we got several topics. I got a couple of new segments I'm going to introduce. Okay, just grow with me. Okay, let's get started. So, for this particular episode, we're going to start kind of low. Okay, and then we're going to go up, up, and up. And we're going to start off by saying rest in peace to rapper Chino XL. Okay, a lot of y'all may not know him, but if you know hip hop, you know Chino XL. If you don't, look him up. Okay, he's a very prolific MC. He's been around for decades, okay, since the early 90s. And so even though he never achieved mainstream hip hop, okay, not achieve mainstream hip hop, but since he didn't achieve mainstream visibility or quote unquote success, okay, he was still, critically acclaimed MC, well respected by real MCs. Okay, Drake don't know no Chino XL. He might, so he can cosplay him, but that's another story. I ain't here to hate. Okay, rest in peace to that man. So here you can see Chino's birth chart, and so we're just gonna pick on a couple of things here. I got it pulled up, got my laptop here with me now. Okay, so first, you see the Jupiter is trine Saturn. That is the particular aspect that we're going to focus on for this portion. Okay, so Chino XL was a member of Mensa. Mensa is like a semi nonprofit. It is like an organization for people who have high IQs. And when I say high IQ, I mean like up there, like 90th percentile on the IQ test. And so he's been a member for years, and I didn't know that. Okay, if you don't know what Mensa is, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You just need to look it up for yourself. Mensa is, it's not a high society thing, but it's just an organization for smart people to be smart. Okay, it's like they certify you as intelligent, genius, whatever. Y'all can say, oh, Kanye's a genius, but he ain't a member of Mensa. I can guarantee you that. Okay, and just for clarity purposes, an IQ test is just that. It's a test, and so when you take an IQ test, you can have different scores, but as long as your score is like stable within a particular range, it is what it is. Okay, so Chino has Jupiter trine Saturn, right? And so Jupiter is what? Higher education, higher thinking, philosophy. A trine is all about your innate talents. And I mean, he was essentially just like naturally smart, naturally intelligent. I know people think, oh, well, Mercury is about learning and thinking too and logic, but Mercury is just like elementary school, whereas Jupiter is college. Think of it like that, okay? And so, Saturn is about structure, order. It is also about success. It is about authority. And so Mensa is a organization that is the authority on intelligence, on higher thinking. That's essentially what they are. Okay, and so he was naturally smart. That's the trine. A trine is a soft aspect or a easy aspect. And so from 92 up until now, Chino was a very accomplished MC. He was worked with all the great MCs, Rakim, a lot of people that you probably, I mean, you got to love hip hop to know a lot of the people that he worked with. But he's worked with Tech Nine. He's worked with a lot of Puerto Rican MCs, Immortal Technique. Okay. So I just wanted to recognize him. I didn't want his death to go unnoticed. Okay. I did see a few people, pop out on social media, and that's how I found out. I was like, oh my gosh, like that he died. He was 50 years old. He was older, but still 50 years old is kind of young. Okay, don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. He passed away July 28th, and it was reported on social media via his family. My condolences to you all. He was a great person. Thank you for sharing him with us, because you didn't have to do that. Next up, we have DJ Polo. Rest in peace to DJ Polo as well. He is the former DJ for Cool G Rap. Okay, let me tell you who Cool G Rap is first off. Even though this segment is not about him, I just need to break it down for y'all. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, but this is your favorite rappers, favorite rappers, favorite rappers, favorite rappers. Okay, if it wasn't for Cool G Rap, you wouldn't have no Corinne Steffens, also known as Superhead, which is the name that he gave to her. Okay, Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, they were a duo back in the late 80s, early 90s, back when great MCs had great DJs. That's why you had Gangstar, you had Guru, DJ Premier, you had Eric B, Rakim. It was always that type of duo, okay? And so DJ Polo was Cool G Rap's DJ. And so we're going to look at his death chart, okay? So a death chart is just like a birth chart. It is the date, time, and location of where you passed. And you can pull that for anybody that you have that information for. And of course, I don't have the time of death for DJ Polo. I barely got the date. Okay. So I don't even know where it was. I assume it was New York because that's where he's born and raised. Okay. And so we're going to use a death chart. I just wanted to offer a different perspective because people just assume that the birth chart is all there is as far as like a reflection of who a person is. And so I think a death chart, for all intents and purposes, is kind of a reflection as to who a person was. Okay, so DJ Polo's death chart. So first we got to get into the T. So I guess Hot 97 had reported that DJ Polo only had 2 kids, but his family went on to social media and said that no, he has more than 2 kids. Basically, Hot 97, get your facts straight, okay, before reporting anything. And looking at his death chart, you can see, let me pull it up here for myself. There we go. You can see that children in general, well, you can't see that, but children in general are associated with the sun and Leo. And you can see his sun is in Leo, okay, right there where his midheaven is. Now let's get into the midheaven. We're going to talk about midheaven and descending because ascending, okay, always gets all the love, but no one ever really talks about the midheaven and the descending angles in a chart, okay? So DJ Polo's midheaven, you can see also are associated with Venus and Mercury right there on the cusp, okay? The midheaven is on the cusp of the 10th house, always, regardless of where your chart is or where you were born or whatever. So you have sun right there on the edge as the midheaven is coming into play. Then really on the cusp you have Venus, and then right there, is that a conjunction? No, it's not a conjunction, okay, between Venus and Mercury. Nope. And so all of that energy, Leonian energy, yes, Mercury is in Virgo, but it's also on the cusp, okay? And so it's obvious, okay, that the media would get the details about DJ Polo's offspring kind of conflicted. Mercury is currently in retrograde, so the facts are not facting, Okay, but they set the record straight. And please know that your midheaven is all about your purpose, your calling, what you're here to do, your career, your vocation. Okay, and so here we see the sun, right? In Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. Excuse me. So, excuse me again. So, DJ Polo was admired for doing something that he enjoyed. Admiration, enjoyment, two Leonian words. DJing back in the day, like in the 80s, like nobody thought rap would make it this far. Okay, for real. Like nobody saw it coming. And so doing something that was kind of recreational, okay, that he did at parties. You know, that's what DJs do. They keep the party going, right? DJing at a party, recreational. It's all Leo. It's all Leo. He really lived out his life's purpose, okay? It gave him great pride, I'm sure, okay? And he got a lot of attention for it, okay? Just because you don't know who DJ Polo is don't mean he was a slouch when it came on to them turntables, okay? He was a star, okay? He was a performer. He performed for his fans, for audiences, for supporters all across the country. I'll say globe even. Being a DJ requires a great deal of creativity. You have to think on your toes. You have to think fast, okay? You got to know how to mix it. You got to survey the audience and kind of know how to play to each audience because every audience is different. And I'm sure he had lots of fun, okay, good times playing different shows during the peak of his career, okay? And so I just wanted to shout out DJ Polo as well because that also came as a shock. It was like him and Chino like almost simultaneously, okay? And so just look at how his midheaven came into play as far as like his career and what he did, okay? He wasn't very in it for the ego. He did it because he loved it, okay? So rest in peace to DJ Polo as well. I pray that your family finds solace in your memories with them. Okay, now let's start to bring the mood up with some media beef. Okay, we tapped on Mercury retrograde, so we're gonna keep tapping in, okay, to the Mercury retrograde energy. It has been a while. It has been an ongoing back and forth between Elliott Wilson and Charlamagne the God. I don't know if y'all know, but Complex released their media rankings, okay, hip-hop media rankings list, and Elliott came in at number 5 and Charlamagne came in at number 4. And basically, Charlamagne was like, Elliott don't deserve to be on the list. Elliott been doing this for a long time, y'all. Before Rap Radar, like, dang, what was the magazine? Was it The Source? Elliott been doing this for way longer than Charlamagne. I can tell you that right now, okay? So Charlamagne said he ain't deserve to be there. So Elliott like, man, forget it. And Elliott said he felt like things always been a little weird. You know, Elliott said he always respected him because, you know, he did the work. Charlamagne, you know, he in the radio media hall of fame at this point, okay, with the Breakfast Club. But Elliott said he always felt like it wasn't all the way, but he always just like, is it me? Maybe it's me. And Elliott's intuition was not wrong, okay? This is all about who deserves to be where. You can't tell the person that been doing it longer than you that he is out of touch. I mean, Elliott is not out of touch. He knows what's going on with the young folks. He knows what's going on with the contemporary hip hop or the older folks, okay? Media isn't a young man's game, okay? Entertainment might be, but not necessarily. It doesn't have to be that way. But you know, Charlamagne got his own opinions and he just been doubling down so hard, and Elliott is just like, I ain't about to just let nobody step on my name like this, okay? So hopefully, Mercury retrograde hasn't happened yet, but we are in the shadow period. So this kind of probably has been building. Okay, Mercury is in Virgo, and Virgo is all about what? Fixing problems. And they clearly have had a problem with each other for quite some time. As we continue on with the Mercury retrograde, I'm going to just tap into this real quick. The National Association of Black Journalists invited former President Donald Trump to their convention, which kicked off today, which is Wednesday, July 31st. Okay. And it is throughout the weekend, August 4th until Sunday. Now, let me tell y'all, before I recorded this podcast, before I am sitting here right now on this good Wednesday, it was not good. It's not good. But what were they thinking? Did they think something was going to be different? Remember, Mercury is in the retrograde shadow period. Donald Trump is not good with words or on platforms where he has to open his mouth when it's not scripted. Okay? He doesn't have the charisma that Obama has. Okay? He barely has he doesn't even, I ain't even gonna get into it, but National Association of Black Journalism, Mercury, advertising, journalist is a mercurial character or archetype. When people found out, they were outraged, but they should have known that there was going to be some backlash. I was about to say blacklash, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, they should have known, and I think they did, but I think they have a different agenda now. I don't want to say, okay, technically I can't even say that with a straight face. The National Association of Black Journalists can invite whoever they want to speak at their convention. However, when you invite Donald Trump to speak at your convention or conference, especially being the institution that the National Association of Black Journalists is, like, that's not a good look. It's not a good look publicly for your image. Like, I'm sure some people are no longer trusting of the organization. I'm sure there are a lot of young people who are no longer going to, even older people who are no longer going to affiliate themselves. Now, when I'm telling y'all, the stuff that Trump was saying is just like, is Kamala black? Oh, I didn't know she was black. She was always Indian. And some of y'all gonna use that same rhetoric and say, oh, well, that's why I'm not voting for her. I ain't voting for nobody. You need to vote. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with yourself. Stop playing with your own future. Because that's what's gonna happen. That is exactly what's gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna change. Politics don't affect me. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay. So I just wanted to tap into that, and hopefully you all give me your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. Not necessarily about the election, but maybe about the decision to invite someone who is not well read to speak, and someone who's not all of the isms and the ists that we don't need in this world. Okay, so this is our first new segment, and it's a nod to my very own birth chart, and we're going to call it Venus in Pisces. Yes, Venus in Pisces. This is where we will discuss music. Yeah, I know we kind of touched on music with Charlemagne and Elliott, the media beef, but no, we really about to tap into music right now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is a great album that I am suggesting that you all download, purchase, listen to, all of that good stuff. It is Common and Pete Rock's The Auditorium Volume 1. This is a phenomenal album. I love this album so much. They are going on tour, and hopefully I will get to go. There's a show near me, so I'm definitely going to try to make it. And what else? the one of the lead songs or singles is Dreamin', and I was watching Common do an interview just saying that the song Dreamin' is, from his perspective, it is about, well, I mean, he wrote the song, so whatever he says it's about is what it's about. It is about the people that he's mentioning in the song coming to visit him in his dreams, okay? And I'm a Pisces. I'm all about the dreams, okay? So I totally understand people coming to visit you. They got messages, they got stuff to say, they're trying to share, they're trying to drop some wisdom down on you that you wouldn't necessarily get in your waking life because your ego prevents you from receiving said message, okay? Go ahead, get that album, The Auditorium Volume 1. Volume 2 is coming and I can't wait. Okay? Next up in the Venus and Pisces, we got Missy in Space. Missy Elliott had her song Super Duper Fly beamed out into space out of Southern California. Okay, let me see. NASA transmits hip hop song to deep space for the first time. Now this is not the first song that NASA has beamed out into space. Of course, it was the Beatles, white people. Okay, it was never going to be a black person, but them choosing a black woman, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And if you wasn't around for Missy Elliott's reign, okay, Missy always had references to space, outer space, science. You know her current tour right now, the whole theme is a spaceship in the solar system, the universe. Like, she's trying to bring you into her world, her orbit. Okay? Let's see. At 10:05 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday, July 12th, okay, the agency's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California sent the transmission out to Venus. Okay, the song "The Rain," Super Duper Fly, is a classic. It is also containing a sample. Okay, so do I need to see? No, I'll put it down at the bottom. The original artist and the original song. Okay. I mean, you can go look at a lot of Missy videos, her imagery and things that she has put out over the years, always reference space. So think about it. Friday, I don't have a chart for this. Okay. Friday, July 12th, right? Do I have a chart for this? Hold on. I do have a chart for this. Got a chart for everything. Okay, so we're looking at the chart, right? We're looking at the chart. So at that time, 10:05 Pacific Standard Time on July 12th, okay, I Googled the address of where the transmission came from, okay, and I just put that address in. That's how I got the chart, okay? So we're looking at that time. We're looking specifically at Pluto retrograde in Aquarius opposite the moon, okay? The moon is in Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. Music, okay? Space exploration, space flight, it's all Plutonic and Aquarian, okay? Anything with tech, involving technology, is Aquarius, okay? And Pluto was all about deep, dark spaces. No, Venus ain't out deep, dark outside of our Milky Way galaxy or solar system, but space is a dark place. It is very deep, very, very dark, okay? So the moon, Missy is mother. For those that don't know, she birthed a lot of your favorite MCs, okay? Man, woman, child, okay? You like Tierra Whack? She's definitely Missy's baby. She talks about Missy all the time. She talks about Missy and Busta Rhymes all the time, okay? Who else? I'll even throw Chica in there. Okay. And who was the duo that did the little running video? Boss Glow Up. Look, I ain't gonna get that. I don't want to get that wrong. Let me look it up. I don't know where I got Boss and Glow Up from. ah, Flying the Boss. I knew it was something with a boss, OSS, gloss, boss, whatever. But yeah, flying a boss. Okay, they even had a song with Missy. And then even if it wasn't for Missy, I wouldn't even know who what is the girl name? I can see her. Lizzo. If it wasn't for Missy, I wouldn't even know who Lizzo is. Okay? Any rapper that you see that's quirky, weird, like Tyler the Creator, okay, I'm sure he loves Missy. Lil Wayne professes his love for Missy all the time. He thinks Missy is, or he knows, okay, Missy is the GOAT. That he has said plenty of times that Missy is the greatest rapper of all time. You can look it up yourself. He's said it plenty of times, okay? Missy is from where I'm from, okay? Just wanted to throw that out there, okay? So shout out to Missy for being the first black woman to have her music beamed into space, to Venus, okay? And, you know, because people always think, well, you know, the aliens or whatever civilization, because, you know, the difference in light years, like they're just now getting like stuff from like generations ago, because, you know, by the time the radio waves, if they even can reach, okay, they're listening to old music. So if you kind of send out Missy, that's gonna throw them for a loop. Imagine the aliens listening to Super Duper Fly. They be like, what the heck is this? They're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. I'm sure they're gonna love it. Okay, it's better than a lot of the stuff that's out there now. But you ain't heard that from me. But yes, Missy is mother, okay? And the moon represents what? Mothering. And also the moon is about listening. And what do you do to music? You listen to music. Yes, you do. You listen to music. Ain't that something? That's cool, right? Look at that. Astrology ain't never letting us down. Now, since we're talking about outer space, let's go into the TV show section. I haven't dubbed, okay, this segment yet, but we're going to talk about some TV shows. It was recommended to me that I watch Constellation on Apple TV. Similar to Dark Matter, which we talked about a couple of episodes ago, it's about parallel universes and alignment. And there was an astronaut, there was an incident in space. Spoiler alert, she died, but she returned home. But the major event, it was one timeline she died, the other timeline she survived. And when she goes back to Earth, there are subtle differences in the timelines, like the difference in the color of her car, the difference in the relationship with her husband, how she interacts with her daughter. There were a lot of minor changes, but essentially things were the same. But this show, Constellation, I think, where Dark Matter had a physical representation of how the multiverse would work or could work, I think Constellation shows us a more realistic way of how the multiverse is. And I say is because, you know, for the spiritual people, even though you're into astrology, you may not be spiritual, so I'm gonna break it down if you're not. So when people talk about alignment and timelines collapsing and jumping to different timelines, those things are based on your decision, your choices. Like, oh, I decided to go get something to eat, and while you out getting something to eat, something bad is happening where you would have, could have been. Like, I know some of y'all like, dang, I was late today, but when I took my usual route, when I on the path, it was a car accident. If I would have been 5 minutes, if I would have been on time, that could have been me. You know, you read a lot about 9/11 survivors who, oh, I decided to stop for coffee, so I was late to work, so I wasn't in the towers when they fell. Oh, I I spilled something on my shirt, so I had to go home and change, so I wasn't in the towers. Like, stuff like that happens all the time, even in my own personal life. Okay, I can think of a bunch of times where I decided, oh, I'm not gonna go. It crossed my mind, but I didn't. I just made another choice, right? And so with every choice you make, there is a timeline that is created where you made another choice. Okay, like even if you went to college, like let's say you got into multiple colleges, but you chose this particular college. On other timelines, you went to those other colleges, and there's a whole version of you out there in the multiverse that went to those colleges that lived a whole totally different life. It might be good, it might be bad, it might be very similar to what you're living right now, but we'll never know. But I think constellation shows how the multiverse really would work in our real world. Okay, she didn't know how to get back to her original timeline, but it would have been kind of jarring if she did, because on that timeline she died. You can't just, oh, I'm alive. It doesn't work like that. She was able to figure out how to communicate a little bit through her daughter. It was like a whole little science situation. Okay, like some project they was working on, you know, blah blah blah. I think it was like dark matter, like again, like whatever. So, and even on the other timeline where she died, her co-worker lived, but on the timeline when she lived, her co-worker died. Sacrifices, right? The sacrifices we make. And so she had a chance at the climax of the movie where the two timelines met, and she was able to choose. She could have gone back to her real life, but she decided to stay. She decided to stay. One, I think, was the relationship with the daughter, and two, because of her relationship with her husband. In the timeline where she died, apparently she was cheating on her husband. And on the timeline that she lived, everything was great. But because it get crazy, it get confusing, but you gotta watch it. Constellation is good. It's on Apple TV. Watch it now. Please watch it now. Okay, I can't wait to see what happens next. Okay, because like I told you, one of her co-workers on her timeline, he died, but they still show you what's happening on the other timeline where he lived, and he know he died, and it's gonna take a toll on him. There is an older astronaut who was basically like the lead engineer on the whole little project that caused the accident in space. The same thing happened to him years ago, and he had basically, it was like disassociations. Basically, like, for those that don't know, disassociation is like multiple personality disorder. He was talking to what people thought were hallucinations, but it was really like he was able to see his, I'll say, shadow self, because that man, he was, I ain't gonna say he was evil, but he had a rough life after what happened to him in space happened. on his timeline. Whereas on the timeline that we see, he's successful, he's still working at NASA, he's an engineer, woo woo woo. But they were able to see each other in the mirror. They were able to communicate. And even the one who didn't have a good life, like he started embodying, okay, like it was like some murders. He was doing some wild stuff. Okay, I ain't gonna give too many spoilers, but you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Constellation is good. I loved it. Next up, I told y'all after Presumed Innocent rap that I was gonna be here with the update. Y'all, in the beginning, I was like, all right, Rusty didn't do it. But then, like, it was a lot of circumstantial evidence. And I was like, Rusty, did you do it? And then I started thinking the other lawyer, the prosecutor, the one that was prosecuting him, I think his name was Tony. I thought he did it. It was clear. It was clear. But when the daughter confessed at the end, my God. He thought it was the mama, his wife, but it was the daughter. What? And it was crazy. Like, lady, I know you a dead character and all, but why is you telling this child, oh, well, I'm pregnant and that? Why is you telling her all of that? That don't need to come from you. I ain't gonna say I would have killed you, but we would have definitely been up in there rumbling. That's for sure. Okay? Shoot. Don't even get me started. But yeah, Presumed Innocent. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do season 2. I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe it's just this one-time miniseries. Let me see. That's why I got the laptop here. Let me see. And it's a movie from 1990. I'm gonna watch that too. They did renew Presumed Innocent for a second season. Oh, but it's not going to be about Rusty. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for it to be about Rusty. He got off. He was found not guilty. So it was crazy. But all we know for sure, second season will feature a new case. That's what I thought. Okay. Should premiere late 2025. I hate this now about these shows. The shows be so good, but you got to wait 2, 3, some shows even 5 years for another season. Like, for what? By the time that happens, I done forgot all about the other season. What, you want us to binge watch it again to refresh our memory? We ain't doing that. It have been shows I loved. I ain't watching no first season again. I might watch the last episode that's gonna wrap everything up for me, but I ain't watch, or I might watch the long last time on whatever show you're watching. Like, nah, son. Nah. I ain't doing that. Stop it right now. Or just give me a miniseries, I guess, like Shogun. It's not coming back. FX, that was a good show. It's not coming back. I didn't like the white savior trope, though, on that one. But yeah, what's next? What do we have next? Oh, yes. Let's get into politics. Hi, it's your girl Joy, the Hip Hop Hierophant, your friendly neighborhood astrologer and a tarot reader, here to promote my own products, like I always do. Here we have, can you see it? Here we have the Graffiti Oracle deck, a 52-card oracle deck, all designed by yours truly, from box to guidebook. Get yours today. Use the code WELCOME for how much I want to give y'all off. 20%? Is that good? 20%? 20% is good. I think you're good. Use WELCOME, the code WELCOME, and get 20% off of the Graffiti Oracle deck. Also, we have the exclusive Lionsgate Portal collective reading, now available for only $5.55. You know, I got to keep the 555 popping. Okay, it's a pre-recorded reading. As soon as you pay, boom, come right to your email. You have it for the duration. As long as you save it on your YouTube watch list, you can go back and watch it anytime you want. Okay, so that's all we got here happening in the lighthouse. See you next time. Moon in Capricorn resulted in Biden giving up his position as POTUS. As president, Biden is essentially a Capricorn character in a movie about the USA. Capricorns are politicians, authority figures, or the bureaucracy, or even an old man. Now, the moon is associated with feelings, our ability to sympathize, and the Cancerian need for acceptance and tenderness came across in the press release. First thing he mentioned was the economy. He's just trying to let us down gently. He's reflecting over some of the things he's done since he took office. He's trying to come off as loyal, devoted, warm, caring, patriotic, or even sentimental. The Biden administration has tried very hard over the years to suppress or restrict information about his medical status. Basically, his caretakers tried extremely hard to overcompensate. Full moons are for letting go, and Biden is letting go of his position on the executive branch of this country's government. They're obviously concealing something. We intuitively already know. We were the ones being realistic. Biden. We're not going to get basically the TikTok said what it said. I just wanted to add that for a little bit of context. But we're going to look at Joe's birth chart. Okay. Old Joey. Okay. So what we're really going to focus here is his descending. That's Frankie, my dog. He bumping into the... He's napping and snoring. I'm sure y'all probably heard him snoring in the background. But we're going to focus on Joe's descendant angle. Okay? And his general health. One's general health is associated with the... Oh, we're focusing on the ascendant. My bad. Ascendant. We're focusing on the ascendant. I got to say it again. Rising. To the left. So, okay, so let me say this. When you see the midheaven, I don't even know what the ASC is. Midheaven and what? But whatever. Midheaven, rising sign, and descending sign. Those are angles in the birth chart. It's not an actual position, but it's just a calculated angle on your birth chart. So think of it as a clock, right? We know the zodiac wheel goes counterclockwise because that's how the earth orbits, that's how the moon orbits, that's how our solar system works, okay? And so the midheaven will be high noon, okay? Your rising sign will be 9 o'clock. Your descendant, 3 o'clock. In the IC, 6 o'clock. Okay? And so we're looking at Joe's rising. Okay? 9 o'clock. So one's general health is associated with the first house, Sun, and Mercury. Look at what's on his rising. The Sun, Mercury. Okay. Your rising sign is on the cusp of the first house. I'm just throwing it out there. You got Mercury in Virgo, even though it's in the 12th house, is real close to the Sun and Venus. And Mercury is conjunct. Yep, that's close enough to be designated as a conjunction. So the Sun, Mercury, and Venus are all conjunct. And that includes the ascendant. So, I mean, everything right there is just let you know, man, you old. You are old. And really, Pisces is the stage in life where it's associated with death. A lot of people say Scorpio rules death, but Pisces is the final zodiac sign. That's it. It's the final stage of your life. It doesn't mean that whatever planets or whatever's happening in your 12th house is going to cause or predict your death. That's just where death, is developmental approach to astrology. It is what it is. So, elderly, okay, the term elderly, anybody that's elderly, older, senior citizen, whatever you want to call yourself, grandma, great great granddad, okay, all of that is associated with Saturn. Look at his descending. So we are going to look at his descending. Go to Joe's 3 o'clock. What's on his descendant? The descendant is the cusp of the 7th house. So the line where the 7th house starts and into the 7th house, that is your descending. And his Saturn is right there in Gemini. Your descendant sign encompasses kind of like a lot of things that are in your subconscious. Is almost like your alter ego. Like you don't even know that this stuff is happening within your personal orbit. I just wanted to say that. So his is in Gemini. Okay, Mercury rules his descending because this descending sign is in Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. You got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. Okay, so Joe just, I mean, he is over. He done. He had to come to grips with his ego and realize that he can't do it no more. He can't do it no more. They can't keep pumping him with all these miracle elixirs that make him more fluid and attentive when he's in public. Okay, it's too much. They tired of hiding it. Okay, and that brings us to the next president of the United States of America. Get out and vote, bitches. Oops, I don't know if I can say that. Don't ban me, YouTube. Don't shadow ban me. Miss Kamala Harris, not Kamala, it's Kamala, okay? So let's look at Sis's birth chart right now, and we are going to look at her midheaven, okay? We're going to look at her midheaven. It's good. This is good. I told y'all the pod was going to be podding today, didn't I? So look at her midheaven. Look at her midheaven right there in Pisces. Saturn right there in Aquarius. Okay, your midheaven is, like I said before when we were discussing DJ Polo, your purpose, your calling, your career. Like, what are you here to freaking do? Okay, and sis got all the makings of the first woman president in her chart. So Saturn, also ruler of the 10th house, is right there on the cusp, okay, in Aquarius. She was born during a Saturn retrograde, and Saturn retrograde is dominant in her chart. That means ain't no escaping it. The path is there for her to take. And so even though Saturn is currently retrograde right now, it is retrograde in the sign of Pisces. But it's right there on the cusp. It's right there on the cusp. She was born with Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, but we in Saturn retrograde in Pisces. It's on the cusp. Her midheaven is in Pisces. If you look at that angle, that's at a few minutes after the 10th house in the sign of Pisces. I mean, ain't nothing you can do with that. What can you do with that? That's crazy, right? That is crazy because she don't have anything in Capricorn because she got Capricorn 7th and 8th house. Okay. And so a little bit of her 7th house, is in Sag, which is her descendant, it's nothing there or whatever. But she's good. She is good. Saturn, let's see. You got a trine to the sun. Sextile to the moon. She got a lot of soft aspects to Saturn. There's an opposition, which is the only hard aspect, which is Mars. She is in a male-dominated career field. Politicians are mostly white men. She is a black woman. Yes, Indian and Jamaican. Jamaicans are black, and there are black Indians. I don't know if y'all know that or not, regardless of what the media tells you. Black people are everywhere. You can't stop us. I'm not lobbying for y'all to go out and vote for nobody in particular. but I need you to get out there and exercise your right while you still got it. So lastly, we're going to end on a bit of a fun, exciting note. The 33rd Olympics are taking place. Well, it's not really the 33rd Olympics. I think this is like the 33rd Summer Olympics, okay? Taking place in Paris, okay? There have been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of little craziness, but so far, everything has been good. The U.S. is leading with the most gold medals right now, and China is not far behind, and best believe they're going to make sure that they get a little close if they don't beat us, okay? So, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but Snoop Dogg just been having a ball. Who knew he was going to carry the torch? I love it. Everybody loves Snoop. We all love him, okay? Snoop is the man, okay? And then we got Flavor Flav. He is basically like financing the USA women's water polo team. And I saw a video of him like during one of their practices. He was like actually in the water, like learning some stuff. They said he was pretty good. They said he was like better than anybody who like came to practice with them in the past, as far as like celebrities and people, notable people or whatever. Like they said he was pretty good. But don't get it twisted. I ain't surprised. Flavor Flav is good at a lot of stuff. I knew he could play the piano, okay? So when I saw him at the U.S. ambassador's home or residence in Paris, I wasn't surprised. He can play a ton of instruments. He is like a savant, okay? He is a real musician. Like, if I was an entertainer, I would like, hey, can you play drums on this song? Can you play guitar on it? What about the bass? I like, whatever you could do, I want you to be a part of it, okay? People be sleeping on him because of Flavor of Love. And let me tell you something. When Flavor of Love was out, I was invested, honey. So invested. I remember when I lived in Atlanta, like, my job had like auditions to be on the show, and one of my coworkers, she actually made it, but she went home on like the very first episode. She was the one of the first two to go home, but that was cool that she even made it in the house. I wouldn't have, yeah, after saying you got to kiss Flavor Flav, I probably wouldn't have did it either. But I mean, like, Flavor Flav is old enough to be probably my granddad. Like, that's okay. It's cool, pops. I bet y'all would have been up in that house, and me and Flav, we just would have been best friends. Yeah, boy. But we're really here to focus on what I am going to call the Age of Aquarius moment. Okay? This is just where we're going to talk about some new, innovative things, may or may not revolve around technology. But here, we're going to talk about break dancing at the Olympics. Okay? Can you believe that? I told y'all they never thought hip-hop would make it this far. Okay? And we are going the distance and then some. Okay? I'm so proud of my culture. Yes, hip-hop culture is my culture. Okay? I live, breathe, eat, and sleep. I don't know if I said that before in another episode, but it is what it is. Okay? The qualifying round of the first ever Olympic break dancing will be on August 9th, next Friday at 10 a.m. Okay, that's Eastern Standard Time, I'm guessing. So if you just do your little adjustments, make plans. Most of us gonna be at work. Watch it on your tablet, on your phone, especially if you got access to a computer or something, you know, just watch it while you're doing your thing. Watch it while you're doing your thing. Okay? It's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. I can't wait. What else we got? I think that's it. This was a real good episode, y'all. Real good episode. I thought it was gonna be an hour, and y'all not seeing this, but before I'm doing the edits, it's just about an hour. So that's cool. That's cool. It is what it is. And I am letting y'all know I'm going to see Usher in Atlanta in a few weeks. So I think I'll have a pod out before I leave. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, probably. But if not, I might just wait until after so I can give y'all like a little review of the show. Ha ha ha. Okay. So I can't wait. See y'all soon. Make sure you leave your comments. Let me know what topics y'all want me to cover. If there's anything particular about astrology specifically that you have a question about, let me know. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with asking a question if you don't know the answer. How else you gonna get your questions answered? Right? Because if I don't know, I'll find out for you. Either that or I'll just say that I don't know. I ain't too scared. All right, y'all. See you next time. Peace.